What is good, everybody? We are live. Welcome into another edition of Major Push Wrestling, the talk show where we give wrestling the major push that it deserves. I am your host, Papa Gino Nashef, joined here by a full panel of guys. And I believe we're still live here. Let's see. We got to double check everything, making sure that that's working properly. Didn't go live on Aaron's. Let's try that. And it's not working. Okay, but we are live on my channel, so we will keep it going here. Thank you for your patience, everybody. You know, we are live, pal. Today we got a great topic that clearly it's drawing in the people that want to talk about it. You guys saw the topic today. Everybody watching, whether it's live or on demand, as Aaron would say, we greatly appreciate your viewership and support. I'm going to go around and introduce the panelists, but you guys already know everybody here, but we're going to do it anyway because that's how we roll. We're going to start off with the simple man, my co-host, the leader of the Predictions League breakdown and the Predictions League for the entire galaxy. Noah, how you doing?
Doing all right. Been a fun day at work once again, preparing for the new academic year. Looking forward to being part of the conversation. Good to be back here on Major Push Wrestling with you, Gino. As I always said, from one statistician to another, guys support my brother in his speed. So, as always, I'm ready to get right into it. Curious to see what you bring tonight.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to having a good time with you. And yeah, dude, we always do such great work together, especially in the Predictions League breakdown. It's a lot of fun. And I love that we are not revealing the results until it goes live. That is just a lot more excitement for everybody. And I got it fixed on Aaron's channel. So shout out to everybody watching on Aaron's channel and for bringing us all together. And shout out to Oofman, the Oofman is joining us today. We are always using his StreamYard, so shout out to him. Pepsi is not an affiliate, and the thoughts and opinions voiced here do not reflect those of PepsiCo. So, Oofman, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right. Hey, someone could be watching, so if we get the sponsorship, hey, Pepsi, call me. But doing great. Looking forward to a great topic tonight. And a quick shout out. Just want to shout out a little happy birthday to somebody yesterday. Yesterday was the 14th anniversary of this guy right here, the Network Championship logo. So happy birthday to the Network logo. 2014, 12 years ago, in 2014, was awarded to Brock Lesnar. So we've had this belt for 12 years. So happy birthday.
I'm pretty sure it's a different one now, but either way, speaking of birthdays, yeah. we have JJ who is hitting a big milestone birthday on Saturday. I won't bring him full screen because I know he doesn't like the attention so much, but JJ, happy early birthday. How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's good to be joined here by my brethren from the Simply Reliable Studios. The simple man, Noah Foster, who I know is going to have a lot to say about the topic at hand. Nick, still new to the Major Push / No DQ community. Hopefully he'll be a good boy like he was last week. Always a pleasure to be on here with Dave, Oofman, or is it Oofdrade? I never know when it comes to the Oofster. He's always changing his Oof aliases, but just riding with it. And then
you could put Oof in front and behind anything. So
right, the Major Oof podcast. But Papa Gino, you always do spectacular work on the review. So proud of you hitting 1,000 subs on the way to 1,100. Such a short time, man. Congratulations. In the words of Big Baller G, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
All right. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, shout out to Big G. As you heard JJ, so we're not going to introduce the rest of the people. Just kidding. We got Dave Scheffler here, a proud two-time granddaddy of them all. How you doing, Dave?
Thanks, Gino. Yep. My grandson Oliver is now 2 days old, and I'm a proud grandpa, proud papa, and proud member of Major Push and No DQ and Simply Reliable Oofman Entertainment. I love talking wrestling with all you gentlemen, and we're going to have a very interesting topic. I like Gino's topic, and definitely let's get this ball rolling.
100%. And we got the boss man, Aaron Rift, in the chat. Shout out to Big G. He's at AEW Dynamite tonight. And don't worry, to all you AEW fans, we will be making sure you will have the ability to watch that right after this. But stay tuned. Hi, Oofman. Yes, can I help you?
I technically wrote that. I don't know why I wrote that comment.
So way to swerve me.
And it appeared on
when you write it
I was like, wait,
to Aaron's channel. It goes, maybe he's not watching, maybe he is. So watch out. Speaking of watching out, we got Nick. Nick, you got to watch out for what you say and not swerving while you drive. Shout out to AEW. How you doing, Nick? Welcome back, man. 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, buddy, it's always a pleasure to come and talk with you guys. You know, the fact that I get to do this with a bunch of great guys. It's always a pleasure. Y'all gonna be seeing me more and more. So hopefully you don't get enough Canadian, eh?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. A beaver tail, Canadian bacon, poutine. Come on, we can't get enough of that stuff. And for those that don't know, a beaver tail is basically like really thin, long fried dough. And if you don't know what fried dough is, I feel so sorry for you. But that is our panel today. 100%. They don't really have it so much down in Florida. They fry everything down here, but apparently they missed the boat on Blink's fried dough. But guys, we got a great show planned for you here today. It's going to be some controversial talking because I like to try and keep a positive outlook on things, especially on this show. Even though we will complain, we do try to keep it on a positive note. But this is something that I cannot imagine many people are going to be positive about. And that is commercials and advertisements within WWE. Okay, so we all know starting way back a few years ago, they started to brand the inside of the ring in the area that Vince McMahon said was sacred to the mat was sacred. They're not going to put ads on it. They've got ads on the turnbuckles. They've got ads on the tables. They even had advertisements on a ladder, 2 ladders, since they broke the first ladder that had the ads on it that they wanted to climb. I believe that was back at the TLC match before WrestleMania, if I remember correctly. But either way, I wanted to start this off by saying something here. Oh, man, you can't escape those ads. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to say, though, is that I was watching some TV. I've been getting into more of the broadcast television stuff. Big Brother, my girlfriend or my fiance, excuse me, loves Big Brother. And with an hour of that show, there is 15 to 20 minutes of commercials. So that's roughly a quarter of the hour. All right. Wrestling is 2.5 hours. Thank goodness it's no longer 3 hours. But when you have that, you extrapolate that commercial time out more. And 20 times 2.5, you're looking at like almost an hour of commercials in that broadcast. We all don't like that type of commercials, but like to me, that feels very standard for broadcast television. Say what you want about Netflix not being broadcast television, but when you have SmackDown, it's 2 hours. You're gonna get 40 minutes of commercials. Now, again, I'm trying to keep it positive. Like that's pretty standard stuff, right? Do we like them? Do we not like them? Obviously, we don't like them. For me personally, the part that really grinds my gears is the placement of the commercials. We have commercials during matches. We have commercial, like 2 minutes of the match, and then a commercial. Like it feels disjointed. It feels chaotic and sporadic. And then WWE touted, oh, the first 30 minutes of SmackDown is going to be commercial free. And it happened. And I was like, it was one segment, right? Or like they had a segment and a half. They mixed it in with the Chelsea Greens. They actually did a really good job with that segment, but it it almost didn't. It almost felt like, where were you going to have a commercial? So you're acting like you're giving us a break, but in reality, you really didn't have anywhere you could have naturally cut it, I guess. So between that, the ads on the tables, I know a few of us here are definitely outspoken about the ads on the tables. To me, I would have had the ad in the center, and obviously I'm not a marketing genius, because the ads and the logos on the sides of the tables, so that when you break it, they're still showing fully unbroken. Like I honestly got a kick out of that. And personally, I think that means we're going to get more tables if there's ads on the tables. Do I think it's tacky? Yes. Do I think it's disgusting, especially that Slim Jim logo? No offense to Slim Jim, but like, it's not like the coolest looking logo. Now, I will say the stuff on the ring, the centerpiece was one thing, but now they're doing it like full UFC, and we know TKO owns UFC now. And so they're going but they're putting people's names on the ring. If I was rich enough, I might do that, but really doesn't really matter. When I'm watching the product, though, I don't like 100% of the time notice the graphics on the ring. So it doesn't upset me as much as it might somebody else, which is fine, because we all have our points of view. But when I'm watching the match, sometimes I'm forgetting that there are ads on the mat. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to go around here. I've introduced the topic. We've got the commercials, the advertisements. What I didn't mention, which I'm sure people will mention here, is things like the mug mascot coming up for Chad Gable's moment at SummerSlam and things of that nature. So I'm going to throw it right over to JJ. JJ, in your small picture-in-picture-esque screen here, what do you think? You've heard what I've had to say. I didn't tell anybody here what I was thinking about this going into the topic, so you heard that. What are your thoughts, and what are your thoughts on the commercials and ads in general? And you're muted.
As you requested.
Yep.
I'm probably going to be on an island unto myself, maybe joined by you only. It doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, we're talking about the professional wrestling business. And a good chunk of business is money-making opportunities. The way you make money in television is by selling advertisements. If you've got that many different companies that want to be a part of your show, how do you turn them away? Why are you going to say, no, I don't want your money. I'm getting money from this company. I don't want your money. Give me that money. Shove it in my pocket. I'll find a way to get you over. You mentioned TKO, UFC, WWE. That's the whole reason we have the stuff on the ring and on the turnbuckle pads. The only time it really pops to me is when they're fighting in the corner. And you can usually see the logo on the middle turnbuckle pad. Other than that, and it doesn't bother me because, again, I realize this is the wrestling. Say it with me, everyone. Business.
Business, yes.
To be a successful business, you've got to make money. You've got to turn profits. Much like you, the thing that does irk me is the placement of the advertisements. I don't see why we can't go a segment or a match and then maybe do an extended commercial break, which, newsflash for y'all at home, that gives the people in the arena a chance to run and take a piss, a chance to go and get a refreshment, and then go into the next match or segment. I'd much rather a 5 or 6 minute commercial break without interrupting the match, as opposed to, here comes so-and-so, we're going to go to commercial break. Here comes his opponent. The match starts. They get a headlock. We go to commercial break. We come back. We do 3 or 4 minutes of the match, we go to commercial break, we come back, we get the finish of the match.
Sometimes that happens 3 or 4 times during a match. I mean, look at the Sami Zayn, John Cena in a U.S. title match. That thing was butchered to all hell.
The place where AEW does it better than WWE is they're fond of picture-in-picture. The problem I have with picture-in-picture comes from watch-alongs, which I know a lot of you guys, maybe the fans watching this particular broadcast, don't know, but myself, Noah, Nick, we tend to do watch-alongs of all the major companies and even some independents. When you go to picture-in-picture, you shrink down the action in order to enlarge the advertisement. And sometimes it's hard to see the moves, and you don't have the commentary providing some of the description of the storyline and everything for you to be able to then convey to your audience watching you on your watch along. So that's my only issue with picture-in-picture is the shrinking of the action. And being a man who's almost 50 that has to wear glasses, I'm already struggling to see some of that. And then you shrink the action down. It's like, the fuck, what is he doing? Is that okay? God bless Noah being the lead commentator half the time. He knows everything, so he's able to carry my fat ass through it. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm probably going to be on an island unto myself here, an island of irrelevancy, if you will, because it doesn't bother me. Just those couple things, the placements and the picture-in-picture.
Thank you very much, JJ. Well said, as always. WWE does do a little bit of the picture-in-picture. Now, I wonder with the new radio broadcast that they're doing, if they're still going through the commercial. Obviously, what we know about TV wrestling is, the wrestlers know when commercial breaks are happening. So hopefully they're not putting like super important stuff during that time frame. I don't watch enough AEW to be able to comment on that. JJ, did you want to follow up before we switch?
Yeah, I can just speak to the radio broadcast because I have listened to some of the broadcasts on WWE radio while driving for Uber. And it's definitely a trial and error right now because radio is its own medium and having to get breaks in at certain times. And there have been times when they've cut to do like a little bumper and the match is still like going, like TV hasn't gone to commercial yet. And you'll notice they'll pull the bumper right back out to go back to the TV broadcast. They're still trying to get that synchronized and everything for the cross-pollination, if you will. But for the most part, they run their commercials when television is on commercials, but every now and again you'll catch them slip and drop in like a little bumper, for lack of a better term. You're listening to WWE Radio Channel 156 on your Sirius XM provider, blah, 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 and then it'll quickly pull it right back out because it's like, shit, we still in the middle of,
Right. They make the mistake. And to be fair, they do that on TV broadcasts too. Sometimes they like start another commercial and they realize, oh crap, we got to go back. So you only see like a split second or two of the commercials. So as much as I want to throw it to Nick because he's actively driving and can give us that point of view on that driving thing, I'm going to throw it to Noah here. Noah, you're a man, you're a simple man with simple taste, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. What are your thoughts on all of this?
There's a reason I say the 2-word phrase for every company, for every watch along, they have to play by play with these crazy buffoons in and out shenanigans. But again, not to sound like a parrot, simply put, it's placement and its purpose. Here's the thing. Hi, Jeff Meacham. You remember back at a time when wrestling actually had infomercials regarding what is upcoming in their product, who they are bringing forward, and why it's important to engage with us, not some random W superstar for Capri Sun, Minute Maid, and some insurance that nobody's going to get because insurance is as big of a scam as politics. Give me a freaking break. I remember at one point when it was like, okay, a match is over. Okay, backstage segment. Okay, commercial break. Coming up next. And then you get the commercial break. Then you come back. There's the entrance. There's the match. And you don't get another commercial break till afterwards. When I look at other companies, however, talk about WWE, let's just go ahead and mad money this thing out. It's about business, shall we? And I'm the guy in the suit with a 403B. You look at TNA, horrible production. They'll give a 2-minute commercial, then a 5-minute commercial in between a match, and a commercial during an entrance, and then a commercial just after a backstage segment. They still haven't gotten their crap together. TNA Plus will be the worst wrestling service yet. You look at AEW, the biggest flaw to them is picture-in-picture. Because at the end of the day, you're hearing commercials, you're not hearing the story of the action, and I'm only one voice that conduits to so many people, despite the fact I do know everything that is All Elite, because I follow it ad nauseum since day zero. As far as other stuff, Japanese wrestling, centralized streaming services, Triller for that matter, where you got the guy wasting time in the ring, or whether you got a simple infomercial regarding, here's what's coming up next in our schedule, the next big show. At least that's a one-time commercial break, intermission. You remember that term, folks? Where it actually mattered, almost like halftime, in a way, except you're not listening to some random overrated pop star for 25 minutes on a glorified stage. It's just one of those things right now. The commercials lack meaning to the person that is investing in the product versus the investors. I don't give a flying rat's bleep what top 1% is profiting off WWE investing in their 30-second campaign for some bullcrap that most of the common American people are not going to buy into. What matters, you engage your audience. And truth be told, 1 out of 10 commercials. Maybe there's something for a WWE action figure. Maybe there's something for a WWE show. But the bottom line, the context of the commercials in itself is a disconnect to anybody watching any freaking product. And that doesn't just apply to wrestling, folks. If you look at today's media, that applies to everything. You're probably watching this on YouTube right now, and I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, oh, look, there's a commercial on YouTube, and you don't have a skip button because they're going to force you to watch 15 seconds of ASPCA. The bottom line, commercials lack meaning for anybody unless you're trying to get a 6-figure salary, and that's the biggest disconnect. For me, it's always going to be F streaming services, F commercials, F advertising, F corporate America, despite the fact I work for $1 billion nonprofit. Until you make a commercial mean something towards the future of those watching into what you're actually putting an advertisement for, I don't give a damn what you're doing. Because you're never going to figure out when you're doing it, because as long as you keep filtering that in because you're feeding your own freaking greedy pockets, they're never going to change the placement. And to JJ's point of radio, it's even worse. But at least with radio, you get one stupid long 2-minute commercial break and then nothing else. Get your freaking shit together and stop trying to turn streaming services into everyday Buckeye cable satellite television.
Noah, you make a good point, because I'm a big movie guy. I'm a big TV show guy. I'm watching things like X-Men and all this stuff on all the different platforms. Like, there's a lot of ads, like these medical ads. It's like, who has this issue that isn't already being advised by their doctor about it? And not to offend anybody, but like, if you were an alien dropped down on Earth today, you'd think everybody was struggling with HIV, because there are so many commercials about that stuff. And it's like I'm pretty sure they're all getting treatment for it. Like, I don't understand who they're trying to reach with that. But I will say this: SummerSlam, I was there with Dave watching Night 2 Live. That Burger King ad, man, made me really want that original chicken sandwich. So they definitely hit their mark with that one. For sure. Speaking of Dave, we're going to throw it over to Dave. Thank you so much, Noah. Dave, we get to watch all the PLEs together for the most part. Thank you to the No DQ family for bringing us together. And hopefully we can get more of us together in person as the days, weeks, months, and years go on. But Dave, what are your thoughts about the commercials, the placements, the ads, and all that stuff?
I think we're pretty much 100% in agreement about the placement. And even when we were on our Aaron's channel, No DQ, our buddy Evan, mentioned about how he went to China and watched wrestling, and when you watch it there, they have, like Noah said, the ads before matches and after matches, nothing in between, because it takes away from what you're watching. I understand about the picture in picture, but the one thing about picture in picture, you usually know there's no matches ending when they show picture in picture, because I don't know if I've ever seen a match end during a picture in picture.
One time. I've seen
Um,
it one time, and it was an Orange Cassidy squash match.
Yep.
a squash match, that would be the only reason. And but I mean, regarding the ads on the ring and everything, I think going on the table and the chairs and the turnbuckle might be a little too much, but that's all with the growth of business and the times. It's not the same as back in the day when I started watching wrestling, obviously. But I mean, but again, the placements are horrible. They need to come to some. And when I thought of streaming, and I thought, well, geez, it should be Netflix, especially. And I thought this when Netflix first started doing the WWE on a regular TV station, you have to have commercials all the time. And I thought, well, Netflix, oh, they shouldn't be too many. But you get every time one of the ads starts, 1 of 7, 2 of 7, 3 of 7. And if it's during a match, it's like, oh my God, it just takes your breath. That's the one great thing about when we went in person, we didn't have to worry about that. But it just gets so annoying. And I gotta admit, I watched some of the AEW stuff on the overseas stations where the only thing you see, you don't see ads, you at least see just pictures of the wrestlers and stuff. You don't see any commercials. The one good thing about that. But as far as I think JJ is not by himself. I think again the ads you expect them. I think the only thing that really pissed me off, and you mentioned it, was about Gable. The minute he wins a big championship, his first championship ever, and you got this stupid mug. Why? Why? That should have been just a celebration with him and his family, not some freaking mug thing. At first I thought it was all a joke. I thought someone was coming up and was in that costume and about to hit him or something. That's what I thought. I didn't expect an ad in the middle of a celebration for the guy's first championship ever with that wasn't a tag team. And it's like that. I think that was over the top. That was way over the top, and it pissed me off. I was like, this shit's got to stop. They got to corner it at one point or another and stop it. And but I think unfortunately, even as we go on, nothing we can say or do is going to stop the ads and stop them interrupting matches and all that other crap. I think the only thing we could do is hope that it doesn't get worse.
Thank you, Dave. I'm glad you brought that up because that was another point I wanted to make. In traditional TV, which SmackDown is still on, you do have you don't know really how long the commercial break is. At least on Netflix, you're kind of aware of how long the break is going to be. You can go up, go to the bathroom, what have you, if you're watching live. Little pro tip: if you wait like 30 minutes and then start watching on Netflix, you can actually fast forward through the commercial breaks until you get to live or until the live stream ends, at which point then you're stuck watching the remainder of the commercials there. So on Monday, I started a little bit late, came on, and then when the commercials came, I just on my phone was hitting fast forward, and I was able to skip 15 seconds all the way through the commercial breaks until I saw the live show has ended, and then the commercials stuck around, even though there was more I could fast forward to. So that's a little pro tip for everybody. But I do like knowing how much of a break I'm gonna have, even if it's annoying and poorly placed, for sure.
Now, as I get older, I could say one thing. As I get older, there's going to be a shot at myself. I won't mind the commercials as much because as you get older, you have to step out and go to the bathroom more.
Yeah, as you would at an event if you're there live, right? But if you have the Netflix super duper premium plan or whatever, you don't get those ads. And what they're doing during the commercial breaks, they're still having the match. They're bringing guys out into the crowd and doing these interviews. That's how we got that Javon Evans impromptu match, because the Judgment Day had come out and we're talking smack on the thing. So, I mean, if you're watching on the high seas, you also get to see that, and it will still tell you commercial break in progress, but you're watching the product still. So the high seas obviously has the premium plan or what have you. It's fun when you're watching like an NBA game because you get to see what's going on at the commercial breaks, like on the court, which whatever. We're not here to talk about, traditional competitive sports, but yeah, it's a very good point. Also, that guy in the mug root beer or what, maybe it was AEW. I don't really remember, but it was a dog. So I'm pretty sure it was mug. He was like 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. And I was like, this guy is towering over Chad Gable. Not a very good look. And that's
it could have been
why.
Cass. It could have been Cass, and he could have attacked him.
Yeah, it could have. And that's what it made me think. I was like, if you had like a traditional mascot size, maybe we don't think there's going to be some shenanigans. Shout out to you guys who do the shenanigans weekly. And but yeah, so there are those things that are definitely very frustrating. But it seems like we're all sort of on the same page with one thing or another. I'm going to throw it over now to the Oofman of the Oofman Entertainment, or it's just Oofman Entertainment, but I like saying the. So, Oofman, your thoughts on the WWE ads and the commercial breaks and all of this stuff working into it?
I'm kind of with JJ, where I really the placements don't bother me that much because again, AEW when they have their special events, I remember the early days of AEW. Rick and Morty was a sponsor, and Rick and Morty logos were on the turnbuckles. That didn't bother me that much, but when you got the logos awesome. Now on the, it is, yeah. So that was cool, but they do it now and then. But now with the TKO era, with the logos on the mat, on the turnbuckles, on the LED board, on the ring, and then on the ring side, and with the tables, the chairs, everything. Like, why don't we put logos on the kendo sticks while we're at it? Like, that's where it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I think they should have done Slim Jim. They should put a Slim Jim ad on a kendo stick and paint the kendo stick brown, so it looks like they're beating them up with a huge stick of Slim Jim right there, but whatever, I digress. So that's where it got a little ridiculous for me, but I'm kind of with JJ where the placement doesn't bother me, but now, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Gino, with the whole with the root beer thing. I too thought that the mascot was going to attack poor Gable. It's like, yeah, like Dave said, he just won the Intercontinental title. He's in Minnesota, and then I'm sitting there going like, he's leaving. He was starting to leave if anybody remembered, he was starting to leave the ring, and then the mascot jumped up onto the apron, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then he gives him the 2 cans of soda. I'm like, is he going to do a Stone Cold? Yep, he's doing a Stone Cold celebration. He gets the cans, the double. I'm like, now they're putting ads in the, like, literally the match just ended and now here comes the ad. It's like, what? It kind of reminds me of, it was an old Family Guy episode where they put the ad for The Simpsons on the bottom, and the joke was like, yeah, folks, we're putting ads now in the episode. And that's the first thing I thought of when at SummerSlam, that, wow, they're now putting ads literally almost in the match. But yes, the match ended, but what stopped them from, like, when the ref is counting 3 and then here comes the soda guy, where it just got absolutely ridiculous. But like JJ said, it is the business. This is how TKO operates and thinks. We just got to sit down and get used to it. Like Dave said, is it going to change? No, I think it's going to get worse, unfortunately. And back in my day for the pay-per-views, I remember it being a match, fade to black. It was an ad for a WWE or WWF product or Chef Boyardee. And then, oh, look, a backstage segment with an interview with the participant of the match coming up. That's what I remember. And going to the Raws and SmackDowns back in the day, the Attitude Era, that's where I hope they would go back to. Yeah, and JJ, you're right. Yes, people should have time to go to the restroom, go to the merch stand, blah, blah, blah. But I say go back to that. Have a commercial or two. We're backstage here with insert wrestler name, do a quick little backstage segment, or even just like Raws and SmackDowns when people are walking backstage and they bump into somebody, like participating in the event. I wish it would go back to that, but I sail the 7 seas for the PLEs and pay-per-views, and I'm staring at that screen. We'll be right back, and that's when I go upstairs to my kitchen or go here to the fridge, get something to drink. But you sit here going like, oh man, the clock is still going. And then we come back from a commercial. We'll be right back. And then we're back to a commercial that Michael Cole is now sponsoring. It's Riyadh season. Let's go to Saudi Arabia. Like, let's just get to the next match. Now, beat AEW all you want for the people that are haters out there, but you get a match, you get a quick commercial or a quick segment in between, and boom, match number 2. Let's do this. There's never going to be a happy medium, but as far as for WWE, it's the TKO era. We're unfortunately in it. And again, I think it's going to get worse from now on. It's like what was it, at WrestleMania? They had a random dude sitting at the commentary table where I just had to go like, who's that guy? I think he paid to sit there. What's it going to take that? Again, we're joking. What if Pepsi Man one day sits next to Michael Cole to sponsor Pepsi? It's like, how more ridiculous will it get? I think it's going to get more ridiculous as time goes on. But 2 choices. 1, we can't really do anything about it. And 2, we just got to sit back and deal with it, I guess.
Thank you, Oofman. Appreciate that. Now, you mentioned pay-per-view, right? The AEW still does that, but if you are paying the $40, $50, $60, $70, however much it ballooned to before we got that on the network and stuff, you were paying for the product, and they didn't feel like giving you commercials during that made sense. Like they're justifying it now because you pay the monthly fee and you have all the access to all the other content and blah 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 blah. Like, which worked for me during Peacock's era because there's a lot of content on Peacock that I love, my fiance loves, like you could have for the kids. So you're getting more bang for your buck. And it was still like $7.99, $8.99, $9.99. All of them are ballooning up for sure. Now, but 1 second, I'll be right with you, JJ.
Peacock just announced that they're raising their prices.
Just in time for the new
They're going
season
up
of
$1 or
Traders.
$2, something like that.
Just in time for the new
Every
season of
service
Traders.
does every year.
Yep. Which I get because they know they're going to get people in there. But when you go to a movie theater, you're already paying a premium to sit in that seat, and they should not be showing you commercials. But now they're showing you even more commercials. Now you have to wait 30 minutes before you see a thing, and then you get the Coca-Cola ad at AMC and the I stand up and salute Nicole Kidman with her ad at the beginning. But like you've got car commercials and stuff, but at least when they do stuff like fun ways where like their car commercial is being made to seem like a movie, like at least it kind of ties in. So I do like the Grubhub commercials for WWE when they like take real shots of WWE and they're like holding a thing of ramen, or Sheamus is beating him down and he's getting eggs splattered on him. I do have fun with that. JJ?
I was just going to say, to Oof's point, I'd rather see Duff Man sitting next to Michael Cole than Pepsi Man.
Feels like shots fired. I might be a little young for that reference.
Also, just wanted to add, the other day we were watching the Lego Batman movie here. Now in the basic HBO Max package, which is $10.99, which is what I pay, now there are ads in the movies. So you could be watching whatever on HBO Max, a movie on HBO Max, commercial. I'm sitting there going like, what the hell is this? The next package, which is ad-free, is $18.99. I'm sitting there going like, no, I still kind of like $10.99. So now, yeah, all these changes, it just recently. So now you're going to watch a movie on Max. Again, we watched the Lego Batman movie, 10 minutes in, we'll be right back. I sat there going like, what the hell? So I decided I got Stars because, yeah, so now I'm like, is this on Netflix? So I went to Netflix real fast because we have the basic package. Shout out to T-Mobile, pay my Netflix bill. So I went there, checked out, I put Chris Rock on real fast, and I watched this whole special. And I'm like, all right, is it on Netflix too? So far, no on Netflix. Like I said, I got Stars because Michael's on there. Hey. So I watched Stars real fast. I'm like, let me watch Michael for the 1400th time. No ads there. So now I'm all wondering, like, are all basic packages now going to have ads in there because you're paying the lowest, the lowest tier? Yep. But yes, HBO Max now has commercials during movies. I don't know how it is with like their shows and all that, but I think this is getting ridiculous.
So I also have HBO Max through my Verizon, and I haven't gotten an ad commercial during the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, or the new Lantern series that I just watched. Thank goodness, because I cannot even imagine being interrupted during a show that HBO has made and having a commercial. But to your point, they are making the ad-free tiers higher and keeping, relatively speaking, the ad tiers lower. But I'm honestly okay with that, and I'll tell you why. Because before that, when there was just no commercials at all on Netflix, shows like Glow, shows a bunch of shows that people love were getting canceled because their only way to prove that they made sense and made money for the company was new subscribers, their first show that they click on. That's what's bringing them in money. At least with ads now, a show that you like will run longer because they're getting money for people watching as opposed to money just for people signing up to watch. So I do get that, and I do appreciate that in that regard, because we should have had a fourth season of Glow and things like that. So it does make sense to me as a viewer, because that's why it's on basic. When it's on basic cable, you have shows like The Office. If Office started on just Peacock without ads, it might have not gone more than 2-3 seasons. Right. So at least we're getting benefit to the shows that we are actually watching via the people that are promoting their whatever products on there. So like I do see that as a good thing. If you don't want the commercials, yes, you pay a little bit extra. But at the end of the day, it's like, how much is your time worth? Is $7 extra worth the 15 minutes you save? That's a very good argument. How much is your time worth versus whatever? Because you could always pause and things. I don't know about you guys, but when a commercial comes on, we just mute it and wait till we see 2 seconds left, unmute and come back. JJ, I'm going to throw it over to you before we get to Nick. I was hoping Nick would have gotten home by now to be safe. That's why I kept him last. But JJ, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we needed a 4th season of Glow and a 2nd season of Wrestlers, the reality show from OVW, because I learned about so many different independent wrestlers, a lot of whom have really broken out these last few years from that show. And then Lego Batman, top 3 Batman movies of all time. Don't at me.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Completely agree.
Get with me
Dark
afterwards.
Knight, Batman 89, Lego Batman movie.
Yes!
You can really
Thank you, JJ.
jumble those 3 any order depending on day.
No,
like,
no, that order. I just wanted to say
at least
just
2
to add.
and 3. Yeah, Noah's Mr. doesn't watch movies. 2 and 3, I'll always give it to Dark Knight, but 2 and 3 depending on day, because Lego Batman, the fact that it was so aware and made fun of itself the whole time,
phenomenal,
was perfect.
Dude. Yeah,
I just want to say real fast, Gino, just to add what you were saying, I don't mind commercials during TV shows, because again, back in my day when we would watch NBC, ABC, and we would see the shows, you knew when a commercial was coming. They would play the sad music and then commercial. That I don't mind if you're watching that on HBO Max, Netflix, whatever. But my beef is with the movies. Like I said, watching a movie on a stream service and then there's an ad in the middle, it reminded me of watching like TNT and TBS back in the day, or showing my age in the local New York area, Channel 9 or Channel 11. You would watch a movie and you knew a commercial was coming. But this is streaming. It's like, why is streaming interrupting with an ad in the middle of the movie? That's what my beef is with that. And again, I understand it's the basic package. I know I have ads, but I would expect that before or after the movie. That's what Starz has. When I watched Michael, there was like 3 commercials before the movie started. Fine. And then the movie, that is cool. Right. But now HBO Max is now doing it in the movies. That's just driving me up the wall.
You got to consider HBO Max is a bigger service as well. You also got to consider the scope of the service. This is the streamed monetization world that we live in and what it's becoming. Soon enough, every freaking streaming service that offers you some level of multi-purpose entertainment content is going to have a tier where if you're going to be a cheapskate, you're going to do it with ads whether you like it or not. If you really want to not have ads or limited ads during live stuff, you're going to pay for the higher tier. There's a reason why I'm so pretty much detoxified from not only social media at this point, but commercials that almost anything I choose to watch is the next day because I can just DVR, fast forward. Okay, back to live action. get through a 2-hour show in under 1 hour and 15 minutes. Watch my individual world matches, watch the ones I care about, watch the ones I don't care about later. Selective choice in the way you handle a streaming service is pretty much the only way you're going to survive what pretty much everybody hates, and that is commercial placement.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in you, Oof, because you failed a great pun opportunity. You said it's driving you up the wall. You should have said off the wall.
And to that point, though, with the stuff that doesn't have built-in commercial breaks into it, like TV on TV had built-in commercial breaks to it. Now, or at least, a few years ago when it was first being introduced, they were just slapping these commercial breaks or these ad breaks like almost out of place. Like if they had waited like 2 more minutes, it would have fit right here. But whoever's doing it is just like, oh, well, we got this. It must be AI because we'll just break it up in even chunks or whatever. And it's like, that feels like an odd spot for an ad versus 2 minutes later when the scene ended. Like you got something happening right in the middle of a scene. It's like that. They need to do better with that all around. And also, I want to give you my login to Fandango at home because I have over 500 movies. No ads. I've already got them paid for because when you bought DVDs and Blu-rays, kids, they gave you a little digital code. And now, so I have a whole collection of stuff that doesn't have commercials. So if I want to watch something and I own it that way, best believe I'll turn off whatever if I'm on TV, it's something I'm going to go put it onto that. But to get back to the wrestling thing, the point is, guys, that it's not just wrestling doing this, right? So we as big diehard wrestling fans, we feel it harder there if we're trying to watch it live, or if you have YouTube TV on SmackDown, you can fast forward through every commercial. You don't have to wait a second if you have pressed but now you don't have a reason to complain about the commercial because you own the damn movie. But if you have it saved as one of your DVR things, you can fast forward through it like Noah was saying. So I'm going to send it over to Nick, who his commute home from work needs to be studied because this is a crazy commute for you, buddy. Nick, you've heard what we've had to say. Hopefully you can do this safely. I'm going to throw it over to you. Your thoughts on commercials and the ads in WWE and maybe what we talked about regarding a little bit of TV and movies.
Buddy, I definitely can do this safely, so you're good there. Okay, so there's a couple of things you guys touched on. JJ's not in an island of its own. I don't mind it. So in regards to, I'm going to start at least in regards to, you guys were talking about the ad placements. Yeah. I think WWE can do a better job at the ad placements. You're really breaking up the flow of a match when you do that. So I wish they could do a better job at that. Now I'm going to go into the ads on the turnbuckle and on the. So for those of you who are new, that I'm going to peel the curtain back a little bit about myself. My 9 to 5 is actually for a marketing and advertisement company in the Greater Toronto area. Shout out to the Mark Group. And what we do there is, in a long-winded answer, we actually put ads on tote bags. I can get into the whole kick and boodle about what we really like, how we go about it. But I know the power that branding, that brand awareness is. So I don't mind having the ads on the ring or on the turnbuckles because that is a form of brand awareness. That's a form of front of mind marketing when you look at it in that perspective, right? You see those ads on the turnbuckles and you see the ads on the ring apron, it's not supposed to, you're not going to get rich off of that stuff, right? That's just there for your brand awareness to where you see it. Oh, I know that company, so that's what those, so coming from a marketing and advertisement company and doing that as a 9 to 5, I don't hate it because I understand the reasoning behind it. It's not to desecrate anything. It's giving companies, whether they're big conglomerations or in my case, putting small businesses on tote bags. It's all about the brand awareness and having that front of mind marketing to where when people see it, they can relate to it, right? Not there to necessarily break the bank or not necessarily be there to get rich, but to just get your brand out there to people and have them talk about it, right? So in that case, I understand it and I respect it on the placement. The placement on the tables and on the chairs, stuff like that, yeah, I can do without it. But again, I understand it. So that stuff doesn't bother me. I think what bothers me more is the ads during the shows. Now, I'm going to start with the WWE side. It's a little bit egregious to where when you have a 4 or 5 card PLE and you're having all of those commercials in it, it disrupts the flow of the show. It just does. Having a 7-minute commercial and you're only having a 5-minute match, well, you're having a 5-minute match plus you're having, if it's a Roman Reigns match, you're having a 10-minute entrance. It's like, where's the wrestling? Where's the pro wrestling? I'm here to watch a pro wrestling show. Not here to watch a glorified commercial every other time. But, and this is where if you watch me and Noah on the watch-alongs for AEW, or when we do our watch-alongs for the pay-per-views, AEW has a bad problem, in my opinion, to where these match cards are so long and Tony gives us so much that I kind of wish there was an ad in between there. Give me a 5-minute break. I'll tell you guys a story. I've been to 2 AEW shows. I've been to Forbidden Door in 2020, I think it was 2023. And then just recently, me and the missus, I have to preface this, and for the guys who know my missus, she is not a wrestling fan. She is an absolute knows nothing about wrestling, don't want to know about wrestling. She never even heard the term wrestling until I married her. Shout out to her. But going to All Out last year, for as great as a pay-per-view it was, her biggest thing was it was too damn long. We got there, the show started at 3:00, and we were down there at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We didn't leave the arena till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were there for 6 hours, dude. She was like, I can't do it. So with AEW's problem is they're giving you a 10-match card. You know what? I'm sorry, but give me maybe in the middle of that 5th, either shorten the cards, and that's a whole topic for another day for Gino and the crew. Either give us a shorter card, or you're gonna have to put a little bit of an intermission in the middle, because it's just for 10 matches straight. Match. And for some people like Noah, who love this shit, who love professional wrestling, can do it. But others, damn it. But for others, and for where I view, at least in the AEW perspective, going, you're gonna need to throw a commercial or an intermission just to get people, at least to get them to soak in what they've already seen, right? You're just bombarding us, especially with a card. And I know Noah loved it. Sorry, Noah, that I'm picking on you, but I think me and you are the only 2 AEW fans here. Unless anybody else is. When you have it, there you go. Oofman knows. But when you have a show like Redemption, where, let's call it a spade, it didn't need to have 10 matches on there. It didn't need to start at 7 p.m. and still go to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, it's just incredible. So at the end of the day, for the commercials on the PLEs and stuff, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because one company is giving you a 4-match card with 20 commercials and what have you, and then the other company is giving you all match and no break. So pick your poison, right? I wish there was a company, and please, for the love of all that is good, please don't anybody in the comments say, oh, but TNA is the middle ground, because it's not.
No, it's not.
I wish there was a company out there. Again, this is a bigger conversation, that was in the middle, who gave us smaller match cards with a little bit of a break in between, even if it's somebody coming out and giving us a recap of what we've already seen, just something, right? But yeah, and again, in regards to the pay-per-views and PLEs, one company does too much, one company does too little. And in regards to the ads on the mat and ads on the turnbuckles, I don't mind it, because again, I understand it, and I come from that background, so I get it.
Thank you so much for that, Nick, and I'm very glad that you were able to do that safely. I'm gonna throw it over to JJ, who's gonna respond to that, and then we'll go around and do our final words and our plugs.
The best middle ground that I can come up with, to Nick's point there, is found within independent wrestling. If you watch the live streams of some of these indie shows, you get that middle ground. GCW, for example, probably my favorite of the indies. Most of the shows are between a 6 to an 8 match card, about 3 hours. No commercials, because they're on Triller. The commercial breaks are hype packages to set up the matches, like the old WWF pay-per-views. The only true commercial you get is once, maybe twice during the show. They take an elongated period of time to show all the upcoming cities they're going to be hitting.
And that seems like an appropriate ad to do, because you're trying to promote your product for the next week.
Exactly. It's just like when the WWF pay-per-views back in the day would promote what the next pay-per-view is going to be. You're watching SummerSlam, they show you the commercial for No Mercy.
God, I missed that pay-per-view.
You're watching No Mercy, they show you the commercial for Survivor Series. You're watching Survivor Series, they show the commercial for Armageddon or Vengeance.
I remember that show.
It's that is your middle ground. And the problem is that the majority of the wrestling fan base is so close-minded to anything outside of WWE or AEW, and to a lesser extent TNA. But therein lies your middle ground. The same thing can be said for House of Glory, which I don't watch as frequently as I do GCW, but again, 7, maybe 8 match card. The longest I've seen GCW or HOG go is 3.5 to 4 hours, but those are traditionally special shows, really big show cards. And then again, the commercials are your hype packages, because if you're watching an independent show, chances are you may or may not know who the fuck these people are. You need to know why the hell this match is happening. Noah, what's one of my biggest complaints about AEW? Why is this match happening?
Yep.
They've gotten a lot better this year.
Yep.
I will concede that defeat, but
good man.
Everything prior to this year, and there's still some room for improvement, but they've gotten a lot better this year.
Yep.
But 2025 to 2019, when they began, it was like Tony Khan threw darts at balloons. Names popped out of the balloon. You two go out there, have a match.
I wouldn't say that about every year, but then again,
AR Fox, you're going to go fight John Moxley. Go have a match.
That's more TV, but I do understand his point. But again,
but again, I just wanted to touch on that, to Nick's point there. There is your middle ground.
Yep.
Search out the independent wrestling promotions in your area. Find out if they're streamed on any platform, whether it's Triller, YouTube, Independent Wrestling TV, whatever. Watch them. That's your middle ground.
Title match, MLP, Pro Wrestling.
Thank you, JJ.
Go on and on.
And thank you, Noah. Nick, you're going to go. Give your final thoughts and then where the people can find you.
Well, yeah, for sure. It's not more so a final thought. Just a food for thought, maybe a question to be answered on a future episode. But to JJ's point, and I leave you all with this, if the independents can do it, why can't these billion-dollar companies get it right? What is stopping them What is stopping Tony or TKO from getting it right?
Shareholders.
And improving.
Agreed.
And well, but again, AEW doesn't have to deal with that, right? So what
I
is
was going to
stopping
say
these
it's not
companies?
shareholders. It's not shareholders, but
It's ego.
masters
too.
that they have to feed. No, it's not ego.
Well-
It's masters they have to feed, because Tony Khan and AEW still have to answer to Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yep.
They don't have to answer to shareholders. They're not a publicly traded stock company, but they still have to answer to Warner Brothers Discovery.
Right, I get that.
WWE
You're right.
has to answer to TKO Endeavor and the stockholders.
That's what I meant.
That's why they can't get it right, because they have masters they have to answer to.
Bloody
They are
suck.
not an independent mom and pop business.
You're right, JJ. But when it comes to the pay-per-views, they don't have to answer to WBD,
Yes, they do.
because remember,
They're on HBO Max. They still have to answer to WBD.
Yep.
Again,
I love
I
you,
don't
bro, but
understand.
that's the way it is.
And that's not insult.
I don't
That's
know.
just a fact of life. Yeah, as the clock winds down to the final horn from Millionaire, as Gino tries to close his show.
No, but I
So,
get where Nick
okay.
is coming from, because with ESPN, they paid WWE for their pay-per-views. That they don't, theoretically, they don't have input into what goes on the show, so WB paid AEW for their TV rights, but AEW is still making the product for them. Yes, if they have something they don't like fans chanting certain things at a certain wrestler that might be political, oh, we would like that muted and this and that. I hear what you're saying, Nick, but everybody's got a boss.
But you're right, but that's TV though. I think pay-per-views are a little bit different. That's why, again, a conversation for a different time.
Sure.
Again, thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. I love coming and doing these things, especially to represent what we do at the Simply Reliable Studios. You can find me on X, on Twitter, at NickBelieve12. You can find us, me, on the Simply Reliable Studios. We got a lot of great things coming up, a lot of great things that we're doing, and I'll let JJ talk about all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Nick. You almost made it directly to my house in time to join me live on air in the studio with how long you're driving. I'm going to throw it over to JJ then to finish that plug. And JJ, where can the people find you guys and the wonderful work you do?
You can find the Simply Reliable Studios at SR Studios 2024 on X. Check us out on our various different YouTube channels. We just had an interview go up yesterday with Manuel Fabian, the president of Future of Women's Wrestling, an all-women's promotion based here out of SoCal. I will be attending their show on Saturday. It'll be their 3rd anniversary show. The Simply Reliable Studios here is sponsoring Top Tier Jasmine Allure, the Ladies Night Out champion on that show. We've got a lot more interviews lined up here in the next couple of weeks. September 1st, we are going to be talking to, where is it here? So many things coming up. We're going to be talking to Simone Williams on September 1st. September 2nd, we're going to be talking to the Pro Wrestling Symphony champion, Colby Carter. September 10th, we're going to be interviewing our first Zebra referee, JC, who's a Santino Brothers trained referee out here in SoCal. Santino Brothers is also responsible for training such names as Bad Dude Tito from TMDK and Big Bad Brody King in AEW. And then shout out to Walter, locking in his first interview with us. We're going to be getting one half of the new GCW Tag Team Champions, the big man, Sam Stackhouse, September 8th. Working the emails, trying to set up dates for a bunch more people, including a certain Undeniable Diamond potentially coming soon to the Simply Reliable Studios. Just going to leave it at that because she does have an aura of controversy that follows her. So we'll just leave it at that until we're ready to officially announce. If you know, you know. If you don't know, Your ass better call somebody.
Thank you very much for that, JJ. And when Nick goes dark like that, I get worried, but I'm pretty sure he didn't crash his car. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us there.
And let me just say, oof, I do like the Thunder Rosa shirt. Nice shirt there, sir.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually throw it over to Oof. Without him, I wouldn't be able to go live with these things. We'd have a 40-minute hard cap without being able to say goodbye. A few of my episodes got cut off right in the middle of a point I was trying to make. And so shout out to Oofman for the ability to do this and, you know, have all these great conversations and to do that. Again, we thank him whether he's on or not. Shout out to Oofman. Oofman, where can the people find you? Sorry, the Oofman.
Well, here they are, the top 3 Batman movies. Yeah, whatever. Here they are, top 3 Batman movies of all time, right there. And you can find me here on YouTube with on One Gino's channel, on No DQ, and of course my channel, Oofman Entertainment. I'll be going live tomorrow night. My topic for tomorrow night for episode 31 will be. We spoke about a little bit about movies, about the trailers. How good are trailers? Are they good teases or do they give too much information? So check us back. Come back online tomorrow here on YouTube, again, on my channel, Oofman Entertainment, and on Aaron's channel as well. And anybody is invited to go. The link will be there in the chat for the guys know. So whoever can make it tomorrow night, 8 o'clock live, prime time, baby. We'll be discussing movie trailers. Are they good teases? TMI, not enough information. We'll be gabbing about that. And yeah, check out the rest of the videos on the channel here. You'll see Gino, you'll see Dave, you'll see Noah, you'll see everybody from the family. Again, shout out to the boss man, Aaron Rift, who, again, 2 years, last year, 2 days ago, we actually met. Again, he came back to Jersey. So can't ever say thank you enough to Aaron and everybody at No DQ. So yeah, so come back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock prime time. We'll be discussing movie trailers. Are they really, really good, or do they do the movie an injustice?
Oofman, 8 p.m. EST?
Yes.
8 p.m. EST, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I really want to be on. I'm hoping that I will be freed
Yeah.
up for that because I've got a really, really staunch opinion on that. But speaking of staunch opinions, we have the simple man Noah Foster.
I want to see the sleeves go up, Gino. I want to see them go up.
Well, if you say something I don't like or I
I can't wait
disagree
to
with,
talk about
you
that.
shall. But we got the simple man Noah Foster here. Always a pleasure when he's able to grace our screens. This man might be the hardest working man in internet wrestling talk history. Noah, where can the people find you besides watching AEW Dynamite?
Well, you know, I mean, that's pretty much when I'm not playing a video game or watching New Japan or Stardom. I got to finish the Pirates of the Great Prix, but always appreciate you, Gino. If you want to further try and find engage with me, good luck, but try if you choose. At Foster 1916 on the X or on YouTube, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! Stay tuned tomorrow night for Sleepy Ditting TNA Lockdown. Me and a gaggle of fools be Sleepy Ditting that show as the continuation of TNA League continues. I'll also be with you all with honor for Friday night for Ring of Honor. Depth before Dishonor. Safino defends against Suzuki, and Bandito defends against Nick Wayne. And Nanda McGinnis goes out of the Pure Chip to begin against Lee Moriarty. And of course, next week we go all in. We'll be Sleepy Dick all in and cover that. And stay tuned for the next simple session with me and the other great Canadian of the City Level Studios, Ash. We will have our closing thoughts on the G1 Climax and some other Monopoly-based shenanigans. But as always, I'd like to remind and encourage you, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans of opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your family's just your life, and enjoy professional wrestling as little as commercial filtering as possible if you can too. It's as simple as that. And I'll see you next time on the Major Push, PLE Breakdown, an review, or somewhere else in and out of YouTube.
Yeah,
Noah,
look
what
forward to
time
breaking that down.
predicting tomorrow?
I think we'll just do the usual. It's become the traditional custom, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on the Silverman's brand in conjunction across the Civil Bible Studios and the Aaron Riff YouTube channel. So stay tuned.
Hey, Noah, this is the first stream that we've all been on that nobody has said the word Joe Hendry and nothing happened.
Considering he doesn't have a feed, considering he doesn't have the song, and again, non-copyright, and he's not going to show up, that doesn't apply here, bruv.
Well, you never know. He might.
No one
appear
has said
behind
his
me
name in a
any
long
second.
time, so.
Yeah, I mean, poor Joe Hendry. But yeah, we look forward to breaking down All In after the predictions, after the premium live event airs, or excuse me, pay-per-view. I hate that I have to differentiate between the two. I might just keep
Same.
calling them pay-per-views, even though, fundamentally
Call them pay-per-views. We
they're
know.
not.
I'm calling
Yeah.
it pay-per-views. I don't give a damn about
I'm
freaking-
taking it to my grave.
And WWE
And-
slave names and WWE advertising slave names can kiss my ass.
And the two-time granddaddy Dave Scheffler is here. Thank you for joining us, Dave. Where can the people find you?
Well, thank you again, Gino, and thanks again to Aaron. I don't have as good a memory as you do about being on the reviews, but I'm coming up on about a year. And if it wasn't for Aaron, again, I wouldn't have met you, met all you wonderful gentlemen, and had a new friend to get to watch these PLEs and pay-per-views with, and Gino. You can find me on No DQ on the reviews, on the predictions, gabbing with Oof on Oofman Entertainment. Get to find me on Simply Reliable now because Noah and JJ have welcomed me with open arms whenever I'd like to be on. And I got to be on my second Shenanigans show last week to try out my new computer to see if it worked. And thank you again, Gino. I remember back in the day before Oofman gave it the StreamYard to us, where you were on here by yourself, and you were nice enough to let me join you, and now look what it's become. We got a little family of our own to get to talk on Major Push Wrestling now, and it is growing leaps and bounds every week.
Yes, thank you so much, Dave. So I believe we've all gotten our plugs in. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Again, shout out to the boss man, Aaron Riff, for letting us go live on his channel. And without him, most of us wouldn't have been brought together. And that's super awesome. We're looking forward to getting Nick on the review one of these weeks. But yeah, man, guys, this is so awesome to be able to talk wrestling. Screw the commercials, all things considered. We appreciate every single one of you being here, from the Oofman, Dave, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ, from Nick to Noah. And as always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, folks.